Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tour of an ancient city rebuild that I did. And I have already recorded this before, but I noticed when I was watching it back that I missed a lot of stuff. So I will try to not rush through it this time, and hopefully I'll be able to show off everything. I need to apologize for not uploading yesterday and maybe today, depending on how fast the upload speed is. But I had something personal come up in my life that prevented me from sitting down and recording. So let's not sit here any longer, let's get right into it. Alright, so this is what's labeled in the blueprints as the front entrance. If you're wondering which texture pack this is, it is Alacrity. And these are the towers. I based them off the, I think specifically Japanese shrines. I think they're shrines. But I've also seen them act as kind of like lanterns, so I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, excuse me. Right, we're gonna start at this side of the city. And this is one of the pathways. And since this city spawns under a cherry blossom grove, I think they're called, I decided to put cherry blossom trees down here. Now this building, when it generated, is, I think, the one that has like that big old tall arch. But I tore it down so that I just had like the shape. And then I forgot what the building initially looked like, so I built a library. And then over here is a house. Must be nighttime since some of the villagers are sleeping. And then this was some ruins. It wasn't really sure what it was originally supposed to be, so I decided to put a little farm here because, you know, they have to eat something down here. And then because of the way that this building generates with little like holes in between a bunch of blocks, I decided it must be a forge of some kind. And there are quite a few of these. Alright, so let's start at this end. There's one of the shrines. I decided to make the centerpiece just a little bit thicker so it would be even on both sides. And I decided to put some mushrooms down here. Because it is underground, I thought fungi made sense. Still haven't decided what to do with this. I'd appreciate suggestions. Here's some unfinished trees. I might tear that one down since it's so close to lava and close to the tower, but we'll see. And then this is one of the tower structures, like the watchtower kind of structures that generates. I based it off, I believe, a Japanese tower, or I guess took inspiration is the more apt description. This is the top. I left the chest. Now let's go. Check out this barracks. I decided to move the shrine thingy that's usually like right here up there because I figured it would make sense, seeing as this is a barracks after all, that there should be room for people who are like sparring and the like. And I put storage for weapons and armor. And that's this side of the city. Now, initially this part wasn't connected at all, if I'm remembering correctly. There was a wall. Well, I guess not exactly a wall. Basically, the cliff, or the cave wall, came down like right in the middle here. So I decided to carve it out and connect these two. It required some finagling because they were one block off from each other, but I think it turned out pretty good. Now, this is one of the tall structures. It's not exactly 100% clear what this is supposed to be, but I figured it was probably a house. So this is what I did with the interior. Just basic kind of living amenities, or whatever the word is. Added some nice balconies, and I feel like I'll have to do something so that this view isn't just boring. Same with this one. And this has all the same loot. Right. And then, this is another one of those little houses. I decorated all the houses basically the same. There's not much variation between them. And then right here, I believe it was either just a big ol' empty space, or there was some ambiguous ruins here. And seeing as there is a tower right here, I figured why not add a archery range. And here's a small little garden with a bell for the villagers to come and gather around. And here's another tower. It's basically the same structure. Again, I didn't do anything different. And here is another little forge area. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same. And then over here, usually these walkways have, I don't know how to describe it, just these rows of blocks. And initially I kind of thought maybe they were pathways with a bunch of benches, but that didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And I kind of came to the conclusion that maybe perhaps they were supposed to be graves. So I put this here. I think it looks pretty good. And now over here, this initially was just a big empty space. Had literally nothing generated in here. So I dug it out and decided to make a lake. Or I guess maybe an underground pond. I don't know why my webs look like that. That's not normally what they look like with Alacrity. What is going on with my resource packs? Oh, that's why. I didn't realize I still had you in there. That would definitely explain it. Come on. Come on. Oh no. Oh no, it's just gonna sit here. Come on. Totally professional. Okay, there we go. Now that looks better. Thought I'd taken that out, but clearly I didn't. And I added some more trees. Nothing too special. Another shrine. And there are smaller towers that generate in the city, and this is one of these that is just a smaller version of the big towers that are over there. Over here, we have another barracks. It's pretty much exactly the same. I didn't really deviate too much. And over here, another forge. And I found this while going around the city. So I decided to turn it into a kind of mine area. Especially seeing as I used it for the roofing on pretty much all the buildings. And here's another tall house, which, again, pretty much has the exact same interior. Another one of the short towers. And then this. It was initially a different building. I think it was one of the other buildings that has the tall arch, but I can't quite remember. But instead, I turned it into an icebox. And then here is what the inside looks like. And I took the loot that was from the first building and just put it in here. And then I believe this is another house. Yes. Yeah, it's just a little small house. And then we come back around. Now, let's go here. And this is what this pathway looks like. Thought it'd be cool to have these little channels. Alright, let's start from over here. Another little house. And another barracks. Another tower. And another tall house. Which direction? I'll worry about it later. There's another shrine, and then here is the spa. Added a bunch of seating and stuff. And the water actually runs all the way through this. All the way up to here. And I believe I put fire back in here. Well, put candles. And then I figure that the candles heat this up so that the pool over there is nice and warm. And then I decided these must be saunas or something like that. Of course, I left the chests here because really I don't have anywhere else to put the items. So eventually I might move the items somewhere else and then put maybe like soul campfires in there so it looks a bit more like a sauna. Continuing on over here, have another house and another forge. And then over here is just a shrine. Let me go up here. And this was another one of those buildings that has the big old arches. And since I remembered what the building initially looked like this time, I turned it into an enchanting / potion making area. Since the ancient cities tend to spawn with a lot of enchanted items and books, I figured they needed somewhere to make these items, so here it is. And then there's another one of these. And now, here is the campsite. I was going to put a mine entrance over here, and I might still do that, but I haven't fully decided yet. Right. One of these pathways has a tower that I would like to show. Which pathway was it on? Ha, there it is. Alright. Now this tower was where like the pillager towers that you see in ancient cities are. And I turned it into just a regular old tower. I thought it would be cool and nice looking. And it broke up the pathways a little bit. Right. Believe I missed another farm. There are 2 of these farms down here. If I'm remembering correctly, it was over here, maybe. Ha, there it is. Yeah. It's right next to the spa. Made sure that the people who live down here have all the food they could ever need. And now, back to the entryway. I do have a chest in the middle of the walkway here because it came from one of the houses, but I can't remember which house it was, so for now this stuff is just sitting right here. Initially, this area is generally pretty flat, and I need to dig out that side more so it can look like this. But yeah, I dug it out and decided to add some greenery and stuff, and there are fish in these ponds. I believe I put tropical fish. Yes, I did. Alright, here's the upper walkway. It's initially covered in gray wool, but since I've pretty much removed all of the skulk down here, I figure it doesn't really need to have the wool anymore. And then here is the pathway up. And since I think I mostly base these buildings off of Japanese builds, but I'm not quite sure. I don't remember, it's been a while. I looked up animals that are like protectors in Japanese or maybe Asian culture. And seeing as we have dogs or wolves, and that came up when I was doing the search, I made these dog statues. I did use a blueprint or whatever that someone else came up with, so these aren't original, but I think they still look pretty good. And then here is the center portal. I made it look a little bit more like the warden. Specifically the way the warden looks in this resource pack, I believe. So it has these things instead of the little thing that it usually generates with. And also, I scooched one side over by 1 block so it's even. So if this ever does become an actual portal eventually, hopefully it will still work. And then I decided to add a nice little water feature around here because it's not exactly a walkway. At least it doesn't appear to be a walkway to me. So I put something else that's kind of nice and decorative. And yeah. Here's more of a view of the gates. I did kind of base them off of, I believe they're called Torii gates, but don't quote me on that. Not exactly the same, but definitely inspired. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that is everything. Over here, I am planning to put a doorway with maybe a pathway up, and I want it to go all the way over. Where is the entrance to that cave? All the way over here. Because this is the cave that you get in through, I think. Or at least one of the cave entrances. That spider is having a dance party. Yeah. This is one of the cave entrances. Alright, well, that was everything. I hope you enjoyed my rebuild, and I hope to do more of them in the future, especially after the new blocks in 1.20.2 are available. So if you like the video, and if you want to see more, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!